We all have drawn before, right? Well, take a look at this picture, I'll give you a second. Did you see it? That thing is not a human. These are a few drawings that look innocent, but the more you look,
You realize they're not.
the Lisa drawing.
These terrifying drawings are done by a girl who has an imaginary friend named Lisa, and you won't believe what they reveal. This first one shows her and Lisa, who's unusually tall, dressed in all white, covered in red, and has red eyes. It says, "Today I tried to plant a flower in the yard. I tried to plant it by the sandbox, but Lisa said that's where her daddy is sleeping, so I planted it in a cup of dirt."
Excuse me? What? So basically it sounds like the dad is dead.
The next one shows the girl going to school with Lisa, and her teacher, Mrs. Monroe, is getting angry because she can't see Lisa. Then Mrs. Monroe disappears.
Not the teacher too. Imagine it being your first day to work and then you never get to leave. That's so scary.
After school, the girl and Lisa end up going on a long walk, but when they come home, the drawing says, "Daddy got really mad and said Lisa is stupid and fake. Lisa got sad and disappeared." And this is where it all goes wrong. The girl's dad seems to have also disappeared, and we finally find out what's been going on in the last drawing. It says, "Lisa came back yesterday. She said sorry for leaving and I told her my dad won't come home. Lisa said Mrs. Monroe and him are sleeping like her dad. I hope they wake up soon."
Oh my god, that's so crazy. And it's so much scarier that it's a true story. I hope she got help. Rumors say that Lisa used to be a normal girl. But this one day when she was playing outside, the ice cream truck passed by. So she ran to her dad and asked him for $1. But the dad said no, which they started arguing. After some time, the ice cream truck left, which made Lisa cry. Hours later at night, Lisa got up and went into the kitchen. She grabbed a big knife and went into his dad's room, then killed him. Rumors say that she ate him like ice cream, then died, and became a monster ghost. People say she hunts kids under 10 years old that have bad dads, then makes the kids kill them. But I don't know if it's true so.
Some of the creepiest drawings that have been made by children. A 9-year-old girl often spoke to her mother about an imaginary friend, but the problem was that she gave a bit too much detail about this imaginary friend, and these details were often too precise to be false. She would tell that when this imaginary friend came to see her during the day, he was quite nice. He would tell her stories, offer to play with her, etc.
So is he mean at night then? Because they said that he was nice in the morning.
But the creepiest thing is that she said that when he came to see her at night, he was not the same at all. The little girl recounted that during the night, he hides in her closet or under her bed and tells her creepy things, and that sometimes he even attacked her. And one day the little girl brought a drawing to her mother and said, "Look, I drew Bob."
Oh, heck no. Imagine a kid giving this to you and saying that's the friend. Not just any friend. A best friend. At that. Yeah, nah. I would put them up for adoption. Or take them to a doctor. But anyways.
The next story I'm going to tell you will be a bit shorter, but no less creepy. Believe me. A 12-year-old boy had gone out to play with his friends all day and came home around 10 p.m. But the problem was that his parents noticed that something was not right with him, that he was not himself, and that as soon as he got home, he didn't utter a word, as if he was frightened by something. And when his parents asked him what was wrong, he showed them this drawing, and he said, "This lady followed
So
me
she's in
home."
the house. Burn the whole house down at this point.
Drawings with disturbing backstories. This first one is called The Two-Headed Monster by an anonymous kid when asked to draw their imaginary friend. And just picture what this imaginary friend would actually look like, because its first head seems to have bulging eyes and an unnaturally large smile. Then there's a second head growing out of its foot, with huge teeth and round ears. It also has 3 arms on its body and another 2 arms growing out of the foot.
Okay, what in the world? It has bunny ears and 3 arms. Yeah. That's not a kid, that's a monster. I hope the kid was just joking.
But this next one might be even more terrifying. Sarah gave this drawing to her older sister who was leaving for the summer. And in this drawing, she draws herself crying over a gravestone holding a shovel. And the words on top of the page says, "Dear Sarah, I now have much. You love me, but I love you even more. You are dead." This last drawing, though, is what really got me. A mother says this drawing was done by her daughter, who's 4. In the drawing, we see herself drawn at the bottom of the page, and a giant monster that seems like a distorted floating head, with beady eyes and black teeth. Follow for more.
Why is the monster's head so big? That's so crazy. Imagine that thing following you everywhere. Like, subscribe and comment so it's not following you.
This ordinary-looking drawing made by a 6-year-old doesn't appear to have anything that would be any kind of cause for alarm. On the surface, it just looks like a young kid playing in the front of their house. There's tons of smaller details in the drawing, such as his dad raking the leaves, his mom at the window, and a few cars in the street passing by. It all seems like an innocent drawing, but there's a bit of an unsettling backstory behind this. The 6-year-old boy who drew this is a very well-behaved and quiet kid according to his parents. I'll refer to him as Jake. He stays to himself most of the time, and his teachers describe him as a well-behaved child, just very, very quiet. He has a passion for drawing, and constantly draws pictures and writes little story picture books. Jake has one sibling who's currently 2 years old, who he has included in multiple pictures too. His mother says most of Jake's free time he spends either watching Cartoon Network or YouTube videos or drawing. There was no cause for alarm when his parents found this first picture. However, there was when they found a more recent picture that Jake had drawn. Here's another picture of Jake in front of the house, but maybe you've already spotted it. In this picture, there's an identical car in the street with the same person sitting inside. This time, it seems Jake is looking at the car in this picture waving. Jake's parents are not seen in this one, interestingly, but his parents were intrigued now about the car and who the person inside of it was supposed to be. So they questioned him. Jake explained that it was a car he'd always see out front and that the man sitting inside of it would always smile and wave whenever he saw him. So the next day, Jake's parents took him outside to point out the car, but he said the car wasn't there. In fact, it wasn't for the next few days, until finally, one day while Jake was playing outside, he came running inside to his parents to say he saw the car again and the man was inside again. Jake's parents rushed outside to the front to look and saw the car speeding away past the house down the block. It was an old silver Buick, and Jake confirmed that was the car. It was none of the neighbors' cars, that much was known. Jake's parents went to all the neighbors and asked if they'd seen that car sitting in the street at all, to which all of them replied they had not, but that they'd keep a lookout. For a few days, Jake wasn't allowed to play outside unless his parents were there with him. But after the car didn't seem to return, Jake was once again allowed to play freely out front. But one day, he came inside and said that the man in the car was back and was trying to get him into his car. Of course, Jake's father ran outside as fast as he could, hoping to get to the car in time, but he saw it already down the block by the time he was outside. He tried chasing the car down in his car, but by the time he even got into his car, there was no way of tracking where the car went. Once again, Jake wasn't allowed outside of the house. The car wasn't seen outside at all for almost that entire week, until one night, unexpectedly, Jake's father was about to take the garbage out when he noticed the car parked across the street. He took out his phone to begin recording and hopefully get the license plate number, and he tried to slowly get closer to the car without being obvious. But the driver clearly saw him, because the car turned on, then quickly drove away. Jake's father tried to follow the car and get the plate number, but he couldn't. This was the last time the car was ever seen. The car had clearly been parked outside multiple times watching the house, even past dark at later hours in the night. The driver of the car, according to Jake, would always smile and wave at him anytime they'd make eye contact with each other. And the last time Jake saw the car, the man inside started waving for him to come over, and even called out for him. Luckily, Jake was smart enough to go inside and tell his parents. It's not clear why the car would be outside even at night, considering the boy leaving the house alone at those hours would be extremely unlikely. Jake's parents brought the video to the police, but without a clear plate number, not much could be done. Jake's father went door to door asking each house on the block if they had cameras that caught the plate number, but he didn't have any good luck. The car never returned after this, but this happened relatively recently in November of 2021, so there's always a possibility that the man may return.
Oh my god, that's so scary. And sorry guys for not posting. Like and subscribe so I can post more.